when we're dissociated, when we're disconnected from our body, we have this story that feeling is not safe and it's like we're frozen. And so we have to go through this process of thawing out.
My guest today is Chelsea Horton. She is a somatic coach, educator, and the founder of Healing Embodied, where she trains wellness professionals and leaders to integrate somatics, creativity, and emotional healing into their work and lives.
Learning to tap into our emotions, not just through our thoughts, not just through words, but through how they live and move and express in our body. That voice in your head is not you. Even if it's been there for decades and you think it's you, I'm telling you right now, that voice in your head does not belong to you, and it never did. Life is about evolution. Life itself is about change. I talk with a lot of kids who, they've been in situations where they didn't have that choice and someone took over that choice.
You allow them to come with the truth.
Yep.
Then when it really matters, you're not going to hear it and you can't protect them.
Yeah. Whew, I have chills. It's huge. And I also feel like most children.
Well, hello there, everyone. This is Alison from Alison Answers and Lager Counseling Services. My guest today is Chelsea Horton. She is a somatic coach, educator, and the founder of Healing Embodied, where she trains wellness professionals and leaders to integrate somatics, creativity, and emotional healing into their work and lives. She holds a master's degree in dance and movement therapy, and brings together body-based practices, nervous system healing, and trauma-informed work to help people move through traditional talk therapy and truly feel and process emotions in their bodies. I love this. After experiencing burnout as a dance therapist in the community mental health system, Chelsea set out to build a business that prioritized humanity over hustle. She created a thriving embodiment coaching program alongside her COO, Sarah, designed to teach practitioners how to lead with presence, intuition, and creativity rather than rigid formulas. Her approach empowers professionals to remain fully themselves while providing exceptional care to their clients. Chelsea is a published author and has presented at the UCLA Expressive Therapies Conference. Her work focuses on anxiety, shame, religious trauma, inner child healing, and embodiment. Known for her humor, authenticity, and depth, she brings a grounded and relatable perspective to conversations about mental health and personal growth. Outside of her professional life, Chelsea is a former worship leader turned turned pole dancer. Yes. Awesome. I love that. Anyhow, an improv enthusiast and a lifelong dinosaur lover. She believes deeply in the power of play, creativity, and self-expression as essential tools for healing and living fully. Are we not going to have fun today, people? We know we're going to have fun, right? Because this woman has what all of us need, a little levity, a little fun, and everything that could just really, really bring us to just a higher level. So here she is. I'm looking forward to getting to know her. Hey, guys, how are you today? It is Alison from Alison Answers, as you know, because I just told you, and Lager Counseling Services. As I mentioned, Chelsea is here to share with us her creativity and her beautiful spirit in assisting us in finding other ways to feel better, to overcome what is called all the mental illnesses that we don't even like to label here at Lager Counseling Services, but to allow people to find freedom. And I just love so much what we're going to talk about. So I just pre-frame it for you. Be willing to just go into your childlike state to hear what Chelsea has to say, because there's a lot of freedom in that state, even if there was trauma there during that time. So I just want to welcome you. Thank you for being here, Chelsea. What brings you to mental health to begin with? And then we'll just go from there.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. I love your energy so much. I know this is going to be an incredible conversation, and I
It
can't
is.
wait for people to be part of this conversation. How far back in my story do we go? What
I
got me
was
into this?
born in, no, I probably not,
Yeah, yeah,
We love our story, but maybe others. But anyhow,
yeah.
so just
So
kidding.
essentially, I grew up in a, not so functional household. My parents got divorced when I was in middle school. I just saw the dysfunction in my family, and I, eventually became the golden child, the one who gets all the good grades and is like, okay, if I can just be perfect, then like this is my formula for like how to have a good life and avoid all the pain that my parents went through.
Yeah.
And I also really wanted to learn more about like how do you be healthy? How do you create a functional life? Is that possible? Is having healthy relationships possible? And I got really interested in psychology in undergrad, and I ended up majoring in counseling. And throughout that journey, I started doing a lot of my own exploration, started seeing my own therapist and realizing the impact that my family life had on me. And I was also at the time a dancer and a musical theater student and love creativity, love expression, a very playful person, even with everything I went through, always just a silly, goofy, playful, expressive person. And I'm like, I don't see myself just sitting and talking to people. I'm like, is there a way to combine
Yeah.
dance and therapy? And I remember like Googling. This was before ChatGPT. So I remember Googling being like, is this a thing? And I remember discovering dance and movement therapy and being like, this is me as a career.
Yes.
And so I got my master's and board certification in dance movement therapy, which is a blend of somatic therapy and creative arts therapy, where we're really learning to tap into our emotions, not just through our thoughts, not just through words, but through how they live and move and express in our body. And so I've been a board certified dance movement therapist, and I've been in the field of somatics for a decade now.
I have to say, there's never a coincidence when someone comes on this podcast. Sometimes I don't know what the reason is, but it's always like I feel like a divine appointment. So I had a
Mm.
very similar childhood. When I was taking psychology classes, when they wanted you to have a like write a paper about a person, I always wrote it about me. Because I was like, how do
Mm,
I find a way to help myself?
yes.
So I was like my horrible therapist. And I just love hearing it just sounds so similar.
Yeah.
So anyhow, in regard to what you're saying, um, I would love to know how, like when you're working with people, I'm in my mind, I'm thinking you're working with groups, but I'm sure you're also working with individuals too. And do you do that? Like, do you have, could you just describe the process for us? Like what the difference is? Because did you do the regular straight therapy for a period of time, the verbal talk therapy?
So my undergrad degree in counseling was all verbal.
Yeah.
And the beautiful thing about the dance movement therapy degree is that you're learning all the like clinical skills,
Yes.
CBT, like you're learning that alongside of the creative arts therapies piece. So I never like went into the field as a clinical therapist, as a talk therapist. Like from the get-go, I was a dance and movement therapist. I was a little unicorn out there working at a psych hospital as the only dance and movement therapist. And people are like, who is this chick and what is she doing?
So you'd be an inpatient with in a like
Yes.
severely persistently mentally ill people, right? And oh,
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. Tell
Yeah.
us about
Oh,
it.
yeah. It was incredible work. So to answer that question, like, what is that process? What does it look
Yeah.
like? Yes, I've worked with groups and individuals, and it really is so unique to each person, which is what I love about this work. There's never a dull moment. It's so fresh. It's so alive. It's so unique to each person, but essentially, someone comes in with the challenge, the thing that they're wrestling with. Maybe it's a thought loop, maybe it's, negative thinking, maybe it's an emotion, maybe it's grief, maybe it's heartache, maybe it's anxiety. So they're like, this is what I'm dealing with, and I just like can't seem to get unstuck from it, or I've been trying this and I just can't think my way out of it. And so what we're doing is we're helping them first begin to identify how does that emotion actually live and feel in your
Yes.
body?
Mhm.
Where do you feel it?
Mhm.
How do you feel it? How big is it? And then sometimes we bring in Something like imagery. Does it have a color, an image, a shape? Is it an animal? Is it a character? And then we help them access their body's authentic wisdom and way of wanting to move with that emotion. So if that emotion could borrow, this is a question I ask my clients a lot. If that emotion could borrow your body,
Ah, love it.
how would that emotion move? So suddenly, instead of being stuck in their head with their emotion, they're accessing this whole new way of relating to that emotion. And emotions are energy in motion. So they're finally moving with the emotion. The energy starts to shift. Suddenly they're like, I've been stuck in an anxiety loop for a week, and we just did something for 10 minutes, and I feel completely different.
Yes. I want you to come and work with us.
Oh my God. I have so much to
So
say.
bad. Because I'm I love this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm obsessed.
I want to hear more from you. I don't want to talk a lot, but I do want to just tell a little thing related to this. Maybe you can speak on it. So in my early 20s, I was hospitalized for an eating disorder. This is public knowledge. I just like people to know that there's evidence that you can heal. So in regard to that, one of the things that happened when I was alone in my trying to work on myself phase,
Mhm.
in my apartment. I had just, did all this stuff, the binge, purge, the ugh, right? I feel horrible. And just something came over me where I was like, I can shake this out of my body. And
Mm,
I did this thing where I was just shaking my whole body. I'm going to tell you something. Something happened to me.
yeah.
I was set free in a way. There were other things that needed to be freed as well, but it changed me. And I just intuitively knew. And our bodies have that wisdom, like you say, healing wisdom. Yes, look at you. Okay.
Preach, girl.
Yeah, let's go. Okay. So tell us more. Tell us. So
Mm,
when you describe, so then when you have them, they identify where it is, how the color, all of it. What do you do? I'm curious about this with someone who maybe is shy in their body,
mhm,
or because I could see that, right? What do you
mhm.
do?
Yeah, there's so many different ways to be in your body, and I tell my clients there's no right or wrong way to be in your body. For someone, it might look like a big expression. It might look like shaking. For some people, it might just look like I put my hand on my chest and I breathe a little deeper, and maybe I just go more inward. But
Yes.
it's ultimately the goal is to be in a living, breathing relationship with your body and to not leave your body out of your healing. And so it doesn't matter exactly what it looks like. It matters that you're actually starting to connect. And for some people, especially trauma survivors, where their body was the source of pain, where their
Yes.
body was the source of trauma, there's a lot of steps that have to be put in place in order to be able to connect to their body. So for
Mhm.
someone who they're like, connecting to my body is so uncomfortable, it's so vulnerable. Every time we get into their body, they go up into their head. We start with more neutral sensation. Can I just learn to feel safe feeling like my five senses? Can I grab an object like a soft blanket, a cold stone? Can I just learn to feel in a
Mhm.
neutral way and learn that feeling is safe? Because when we're dissociated, when we're disconnected from our body, we have this story that feeling is not safe and it's like we're frozen. And so
Yes.
we have to go through this process of thawing out. And
Mhm.
sometimes just like smelling something, like
Yes.
taking in the vision of the tree outside of your window.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's this really slow process of coming back home to just feeling in general.
Yes. Beautiful. So I'm imagining, I'm not sure, but I'm thinking that probably a lot of people who clearly have had trauma, but also people who, very often, people who've been sexually abused. They also have like eating disorders, all different kinds of things. But
Mhm.
that's like one thing, like this self-loathing, hatred of their body, like
Mhm.
body dysmorphia. So I'm wondering uh, about that. Like, do you ever have people with eating disorders? When you said that about disconnect from, from here up, that's often people who have like compulsive overeating will do that, or even anorexia, but just can't be with themselves, right? So much
Mhm.
shame. So, I would love to hear anything you have to say about that.
Yeah, exactly like you said, we can learn through experience that our body is our enemy. And
Yeah.
we take on this self-punishment thing. If I could just control my body, if I could just have this sense of control, or if I could punish my body's the reason why I was abused, right?
Yes.
Especially with sexual abuse. I did
Yes.
my internship and thesis work with survivors of sexual trauma. But if my body was the site of this horrific thing, then we often internalize that abuse toward ourselves. If
Yes.
our body was abused by someone outside of us, sometimes we can internalize that abuse.
Yeah.
And we go, my body is deserving of abuse. We might not think this consciously,
Right.
but it can manifest as something like an eating disorder or even, skin picking, not taking care of ourselves, numbing ourselves, substance abuse. We internalize this self-loathing and this shame that the reason why this happened to me is because there's something fundamentally wrong, bad, or broken about me. And that's what shame is a way in which we relate to ourselves that says, I'm less worthy
Mm.
fundamentally. And so when we believe this about ourselves because of our experiences, we then relate to our bodies in that way through, like you said, through eating disorders, through other controlling compulsive behaviors, thinking that if I could just punish my body enough,
Mm.
then maybe, just maybe if I'm thin enough, maybe if I'm this enough, maybe if I'm fit enough, I'll be worthy of love.
Right. Yep.
So with somatic work, it's learning, first of all, how to acknowledge that pain,
Mm.
that shame,
Yeah.
to really see the way in which you're relating to your body. Like I was saying before, it's all about building a relationship with your body. And if the relationship with your body is one of shame and hatred and punishment, then we really want to gently, lovingly begin to look at that and shine a light on that
Yeah.
and slowly begin to rebuild a relationship. We don't jump right into self-love.
I thank you for
Yeah,
saying that because so
no.
many people come in, they're like, well, this other therapist told me I just have to love myself, but I hate myself.
Yeah, or
No, you got to
whoop.
tell the truth.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I'm listening.
Yeah, to go from self-hatred to self-love, it's like the
Yes.
chasm feels immeasurable.
Yes.
And so it's going from my body is my enemy to my body is a person.
Mm.
My body is a living, breathing being.
Mm.
My body, I have no choice but to be in this body.
Mm.
How can I relate to my body first in a more neutral way? Okay, my body breathes. My body feels. My body moves.
Yeah.
And beginning to relate to the body as neutral
Mm.
and learning to cr intentionally build this new relationship with their body. And something we've done with people before who are so disconnected from their bodies or have a lot of self-hatred is sometimes we just start with the part of their body that they feel more neutral in. Like,
Mm.
going into the torso is often very vulnerable. So where we hold a
Yes.
lot of emotions,
Yes.
excuse me, and where a lot of our body shame is. So we might start with just like the hands, the fingertips.
Mm.
And just like, can I just touch my fingertips together and say something like, these are my fingertips.
Mm.
Okay, what happens when I rub my fingertips together? Okay, I feel a tingling. I feel warmth.
Mm.
These are my hands. These are my fingertips.
Mm.
So it's something so simple, but it's beginning to like rewire something that says like, okay, this is this is the mammal of my body.
Mm. It's
And
beautiful.
if I treat my body like a person,
Mm.
how does that begin to shift that relationship?
Yeah, that's beautiful. I love that. We see a lot when somebody's been sexually abused. Very often they don't even say this, but hopefully they will, is that let's say they're a child and their body responds to the abuse
Right.
with, like pleasure, just physiological pleasure.
Yeah.
And then so hatred and pleasure get coupled together.
Yeah.
So I'm imagining that you also deal with that, right?
Yeah, definitely when I was working with survivors of sexual abuse and first of all, normalizing that like you don't always choose your body's physiological responses. Like that's a body doing what a body does, and that doesn't mean like stripping away the meaning. That's a big thing that happens. People feel so much shame for what their body did or didn't do in those moments, and that like I somehow chose that or this is further confirmation that there was something wrong with me. So like really beginning to like something that we really own in our work is that we're like shame sniffers. Like we sniff out shame. We can
Love it.
see, we're just like, okay, wow, here's where shame is at play.
Yes.
This belief that, oh my God, why didn't I run? Why didn't I fight? Why did my body respond with pleasure? What's wrong with me? Here's why I deserved this in some way. Well, I must have liked it. All the things that our mind does to make meaning of an experience that is horrific.
Yes.
Our
Exactly.
mind is trying to make meaning out of something that is senseless.
Yes.
And so when we can begin to uncouple the story of the mind from the experience of the body, we create an opportunity to create new meaning
It's beautiful. Yeah.
because people get so fused with the story and the story perpetuates this pain and this shame and this
Mhm.
I can't go into my body because then and that's gonna I'm gonna have to touch those things inside of myself and it's just gonna further confirm that I'm this horrible, bad, wrong person. So
Yes.
when we can help someone just be with sensation in a neutral way, Dr. Russell Kennedy, he's an anxiety expert, he says sensation without explanation. If I
Mm-hmm.
can just be with the sensation, be with my body without the story,
Mm.
what then becomes available?
Yeah, that's really cool. As you know, like when anyone is abused in any way, the first stop very often is self-blame, right?
Yeah.
Which doesn't make sense, of course, but it's what people experience. And I find it and I think that predators or somebody who abuses a child, they will utilize that experience of pleasure, maximize it, and
Yeah.
it further, um, fosters non-disclosure. Like kids won't
Hmm.
talk. And, the reason I even just speak to this today is because this is something that I just am very dedicated to, the ending of child pornography, ending, I mean, this is like what I want to have that meaning in my life that
Hmm.
somehow I contributed to that. So anything, and you are so wise, your use of language is incredible. I love the way you speak. And I just would love to hear just your thoughts on that, even if you were I'm pushing the envelope a little bit with you already. But if you were to speak to a child
Hmm.
like about that, who even didn't want to disclose, because who knows if somebody hears this, right?
Hmm.
So I'm just like throwing it out there, like, we never know. Maybe you saying something, some young person will hear it somewhere. So
Yeah.
no
Yeah,
pressure.
I worked with child
Mhm.
survivors of sexual abuse primarily, and the first thing is I am never going to force a child to disclose, but
Of
I
course.
might say things like, "Hey, like let's learn about our body's boundaries and let's learn about like it, being able to say no and being able to like kind of taking advocacy back for their own bodies because I think children a lot of times are bred in environments where it's like, no, you give them a hug, give them a kiss,
Yeah.
don't be mean, don't be rude. Like, children are kind of bred to not have autonomy over their own bodies.
Yes.
So something that I might help a child with is to reclaim autonomy over their body, to give them choice
Hmm.
and to like empower them in those choices, even if it's in small ways. Like, which toy do you want to choose? Which
Yeah.
flavor of this do you want to choose?
Yes.
Okay, how much space do you want from me right now? Okay,
Yes.
like here I am, your therapist. You don't know me. Like, where do you want to be in the room?
I love
Like,
that.
where do you want me in the room? So giving them choice and then being able to normalize, like, you get to have autonomy over your body. And then being able to, something I've said with one of my child survivors before is, sometimes I talk with a lot of kids who, they've been in situations where they didn't have that choice and someone took over that choice and
Mhm.
someone hurt them or touched them in a way that they actually didn't want and that didn't feel good for them.
Mhm.
And they felt like they couldn't tell anyone.
Yes.
So I might just kind of talk about other children, even though
Yes.
I know and sense that this child has gone through that same
Yes.
thing. Just to kind of also normalize and give permission and give safety and give
Yes.
space. Like, hey, I know that this happens to kids and I don't think it's okay. And I don't think it's their fault at all. There's no situation in which it is the child's fault. No situation in which it could ever possibly be the child's fault for being touched or hurt in that way.
I'll piggyback because I love you were discussing about parenting, which, when I'm thinking about helping people in general, I'm thinking about it could start as early as parents giving this autonomy
Yeah.
and giving them that sense of respect in their body. But as simple as, the things you were describing, I mean, obviously, children are mostly taught. I wasn't, thank God, but I still was sexually abused, by the way. But the being taught that children don't say no to adults,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
that, and schools, you have to, and so many things. So just even, forcing a kid to eat a certain way, forcing a kid to dress a certain way, like all of these things that take away their identity or their ability to communicate what they like or don't like, wearing uncomfortable clothes just because you want to look good in a photo. Like these little subtle things, I think incrementally build out a program that sets them up, right? So I
Mm-hmm.
just wanted this on our conversation because
Yeah.
any parent who can hear it, I tell parents also, you always have to be the person that they can come and tell anything to. So if they do something, steal something, break something, you don't flip out.
Yeah.
You allow them to come with the truth.
Yeah.
Because if they're repeatedly taught or punished for sharing the truth, yes, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Then when it really matters, you're not going to hear it and you can't protect them.
Yeah. Whew.
Mhm.
I have chills. That's
Yes,
it's huge.
right?
And I also feel like most children through school systems, through parenting, through so many situations, they're not given the opportunity to make decisions and be celebrated for making decisions. It's
Yes.
like, this is the decision that I want you to make. This is the decision that you have to make. Like, you don't have a decision. Or if you make a decision and I don't like that decision, you're going to get punished. You're going to hear about it. Like,
Mhm.
you were not really brought up in an environment often where just making choices and making decisions is celebrated or fostered. And
Yeah.
so, like you said, all these little things compounding together, suddenly I feel like I don't have autonomy over my body. Suddenly I've been taught, oh, outsource to authority, which is adults. So if an adult says that this is okay, if an adult says that don't tell anyone, even if I feel weird in my body about it,
Yes.
I'm going to silence my own body's cues because I've learned that what actually my body says is not important.
Yes. There's a book called Protecting the Gift. Maybe you've heard of it, but it's I'm not even necessarily recommending it, but there's this one point in it. It's written by a gentleman who protects very like people at very high level. And what he's describing, he says, how come a a woman will walk into an elevator that they feel uncomfortable walking into, that a man is there, but a dog won't? And it's like, how come when you're walking down the street, one guy, even if the guy looks like a guy who would be bad, but you don't feel it, and then another guy who looks like a guy who's like totally like together, you feel it. But we're taught, and most women, which I'm sure victims of violent crimes, is because we don't want to look silly. We
Yeah.
don't want to make a scene. We
Yep.
don't want to embarrass the person. And, we're trained in this
Yep.
like our whole lives. So,
Mm.
just like and let me tell you, I'm gonna shout out about you. I saw like maybe this is like another social that is not related to your business, probably isn't, but you do all this like free stuff, like all the different clothing and like, just yeah, and just like dancing and going crazy. And there's something so beautiful about returning to our child,
Hmm.
right? So
Yeah.
I see you do it because I'm like, yes, she does it. Like she plays. And
Yeah.
I I want to be better at that. I play
Mm.
more than probably like the most people, but I'm still like make sure I look pretty good when I'm doing it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Just a little good. So tell us about that. Tell us where the freedom lies or anything you want to comment on what I
Uh,
just said, because I said a lot of stuff.
that's so good. Yeah. When we're programmed to be more concerned with what other people are perceiving about us, that ability to be freely expressed gets shut off.
Yes.
And like you said, women especially are programmed, don't rock the boat. Don't make anyone else uncomfortable. Be a nice girl. Be a good girl. Don't be a B word. Like, don't be too much. Don't be too loud. Don't be too modest, but don't be too immodest. Like, all these mixed messages of how we're taught to show up in the world in order to be accepted and in order to be safe. Over time, that suffocates our creativity because creativity thrives when we feel safe. When we feel safe to make a mistake, when we feel safe to be messy, when we feel safe to look stupid, when we feel safe to be a little embarrassed. And so I I really credit that ability to be silly and playful to this work
Yeah.
because I've cultivated enough safety and trust inside of myself and the ability to feel okay being embarrassed, looking stupid, looking cringe, people thinking that I'm silly. And I've been able to return home to like, what is my genuine, authentic expression? Like, how do I want to show up in my body, for me, and for me alone? And for me, it looks like sometimes like funky, kooky outfits. For me, it looks like pole dancing. For me, it looks like being really silly and playful. Like I'm the first one on a dance floor anywhere, always.
Well,
If
you're an
there's a,
amazing dancer. Okay.
thank you.
I mean, come on. If I could if I could dance like that, I would be so happy. That is
At any age,
wonderful.
it's never too late. It's
I
never too
want
late.
to dance like that. Holy sh! I like, can you teach me? I'm like, shit,
I
I
do teach
want
a
to
dance class.
dance. Like, yeah, that you're an
Yeah,
amazing dancer. I
thank
saw you
you.
dance on your yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
So like how did you become more comfortable with just allowing yourself to do all that? Is it moving through the discomfort? I think you used words like, I'm not sure what you said exactly. Trust what did you say? Trust your
Yeah,
body enough to, what did you say?
right. Cultivating enough safety inside of
That was it.
myself
Mm-hmm.
and trust inside of myself that I can trust that I can handle if someone judges me or if someone doesn't like what I wear. My husband, I love my husband. My husband's obsessed with me, so I'll just lay this out first.
I
But
don't blame him. Yes.
I'll put on an outfit. He'll be like, "What the heck are you wearing?" But I'm just like, I like it and I like me and I trust, like, I'm okay if my husband doesn't like my outfit. I'm okay if someone's like, well, I wouldn't wear that. I'm okay if someone is staring at me when I'm on the dance floor. I trust that I've built enough internal capacity to feel the discomfort that I might feel if someone sees me and doesn't and has a reaction. And a lot of us, it is it's a capacity we develop because often if someone judges us or we perceive that someone might judge us, it creates such a discomfort in the body. Then we go, okay, what do I do to get rid of this discomfort? And that often means contorting ourselves.
Yes. Tell us how not to do that.
It's quite a journey. But
So,
first of all,
yes, you contort your body.
you
Yes.
contort your body, you contort your appearance, you contort your expression, you contort your creativity, you contort what you want to say, and we contort in order to not have to feel the discomfort of someone not liking us
Wow.
and our own shame, our own internalized shame of, oh my God, what if someone not liking me means I'm wrong or bad? So part of it is slowing down and noticing that discomfort in your body because we often just automatically react. We go, oh, can't wear this. Oh, shouldn't do that. Like it's so automatic because it's
Yeah.
so ingrained. So
Mm-hmm.
being able to create a gap between reaction and behavior, like the reaction in your body, you're putting on that outfit and you're like, I like this. Oh, but is it too weird? Oh, but what? Is anyone else going to be wearing something like this? Oh, and you start to like watch your mind do all these
Yes.
things. Oh, I don't like this. I don't like the way it looks on me. What if I look too fat? And we notice the mind taking over
Yes.
with the stories. So if you can slow down enough to go, whoa, what am I feeling in my body right now? I feel this twinging in my chest and this ringing in my stomach and this squirminess and this discomfort in my shoulders. And we go, whoa, what is that really about? What am I really afraid of in this moment? Like, get real with yourself. What am I really afraid of in this moment? Oh, I'm afraid of someone not liking me. Okay. And if someone were to not like you, what would you feel? I'd feel really sad. I'd feel really hurt. And would you make that sadness or that hurt mean anything about you? Well, I'd probably make it mean that I messed up and that I'm bad and that I'm not worthy of love. Okay. So in that moment, can I rewrite the narrative and can I go, am I willing to feel my own sadness or hurt that I might feel if someone judges me? Can I meet myself in that instead of abandoning myself and contorting myself in order to not feel the pain of someone's disapproval? And like, can I literally like hold my own body and say, I will be there for you. I'm not going to abandon you.
Yeah.
I'm, can I build this relationship with myself where I am my own best friend? Which, right, it's a journey. It doesn't happen overnight.
I gotta
But
say, so many, I remember in my 20s thinking when people would say that, I'd be like, what does that mean? Now I am full throttle on with that. Best when you have, I always say like without me, I have nothing. It's like
mm,
if I didn't have me,
hmm
like to be your true best friend,
mm,
right? I mean, you just you feel it. I can tell, like,
yeah.
right? What you're saying, not because I want to interrupt what you're saying, because it's so powerful, but I want to highlight it for all the women and of course men too, but this is like, I'm just highlighting women in this regard, that when we get dressed, how many outfits are taken off and thrown on the bed to please another. And interesting, I feel like you're my soul sister, because I swear, because my first degree was in fashion buying and merchandising, because I
I worked in
love,
fashion too.
girl,
Girl, what?
right? So I love clothes and the expression in clothes. You'd never know because I'm wearing black today.
Yeah.
But the thing is that getting dressed for me is fun. I get
Yeah.
excited. But how many times have I shifted what I thought looked, I loved it. It made me happy, but it wasn't acceptable out there. But isn't that how fashion leads?
Yeah.
It's that confidence that does that. It's you wear the outfit doesn't wear you, right? So now I'm like, okay, so this freedom, and if you think about like people also with eating disorders, I'm going back to that, but because it's such a big thing, they go and buy an outfit because it just covers the shame for one wearing. You wear it again, it doesn't cover it. So I don't know why I trail down that path, but you right now, the things that you're saying are so important for so many people, right? So what what would you do with someone, which I think there's so many people who desperately want to be free,
Mhm.
desperately, and they don't even really understand or even believe it's possible.
Mhm.
Where do you think, see, I think I'm not sure if I think it's both ways, but would you say that it begins internally and also, like your inner mind, heart, and all of that, but also I think also the movement of the body immediately changes emotion too.
Yeah.
I just would love to just hear you speak on any of those things.
Yeah, I
No
think I
fair
think
question. Yeah.
you were like, I think it might be both, and I think it is both, right? It's
Yeah.
it's like what comes first, the chicken or the egg?
Right.
Like there are so many things that contribute to our healing, to us finding freedom. Yes, the inner work, and also surrounding ourselves with relationships, with community. That's why I love therapy and groups and
Yeah.
communities where we can learn to see ourselves through the eyes of another, someone who loves us, because we often learn to hate ourselves or outsource our sense of worthiness to other people. We learn that in relationships.
Mm. Yeah.
We learn to talk to ourselves like no one comes into this world hating themselves.
Right.
That voice in your head is not you.
Mm.
Even if it's been there for decades and you think it's you, I'm telling you right now, that voice in your head does not belong to you, and it never did.
Yeah.
So we learn in relationships, repeated experiences to, when we train practitioners in this stuff, we call this inner and outer relationships. Our outer relationships impact our inner relationship with ourselves. And then our inner relationship with ourselves impacts how we relate to the world around us. So it's kind of both,
Yeah.
both and.
Hmm.
Can I work on the inner relationship with myself while actively surrounding myself with people, mentors, therapists, teachers, coaches, communities that allow me to create new relational experiences where I learn that I can show this part of myself that I thought everyone would hate, and then I can
Mhm.
be met with compassion. I can be
Mhm.
met with someone saying, I go through that same thing too.
Mm.
That is so healing too.
It is. You describe, about the nervous system and healing of that. Um, could you speak to the idea of, how when you meet someone, this also, because there's so much out there with dating, you know, that's like the hot topic, and there's so much negativity around the concept of it, everywhere, all over social. So, like, when people meet someone and maybe they feel like they say that it's a mixture of anxiety and also, that heightened feeling of infatuation, but it's anxiety is mixed in with it, right? But how would you help someone identify as they're moving through something that, whether it's a nervousness to see the person or meet the person, or something just doesn't vibe right? I've had experiences where I just kept not feeling right, and then you blame yourself for not feeling right, but you don't know
Mm.
why. And you're like, what's wrong with me? Right? But you don't know what it is. And it doesn't mean anyone's doing anything wrong. There's communication happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my work specialized in this for years. We helped people with
Mhm.
relationship anxiety, and that's the big question. Is it me? Is it this person? Like
Yes.
how do I know? And people often want like the easy answer, but it comes down to what I call embodied discernment.
Mm.
So it's the ability to discern in your body what is safe and what is unsafe, what is for you and what is not for you. And what often happens is, yes, sometimes our body becomes anxious and we want to become curious about that anxiety. We want to get to know that
Mhm.
anxiety in our body so that we can cultivate that embodied discernment. Because sometimes we get anxious and then our brain goes, oh, that means everything's wrong. But really, we're afraid of getting hurt. We're afraid of being
Right.
vulnerable. We're afraid of things not working out. We're afraid of making a mistake. So the more we can slow down with what's happening in our body and become curious, then we can start to get more clarity on what it is that we're picking up on.
Mhm.
So yeah, sometimes it's I'm just nervous. Sometimes it's I'm so afraid of getting hurt again. I went through a bad relationship and so now every time I date someone I get that I'm so afraid of getting hurt again.
Mm.
And sometimes it's something about the way like something about this person is not sitting right with me. My body doesn't feel fully safe or comfortable around them.
Mm.
And I don't have to explain myself with that.
Yeah.
But we do want to get curious and get to know our anxiety, get to know what safety feels like in our body versus what feeling unsafe feels like.
Yeah.
Because if we don't know that somatically, if we don't have the embodied discernment, then we're going to keep going up in our head and second guessing and doubting and going, is it me? Is it this? Is it me? Is it this? But when we can get to know that anxiety somatically,
Mm.
we become more clear on, oh, this is my old wounding. This is coming from the past. This is not about the present moment. This is my fear of getting hurt. This is my fear of making a mistake. This is my fear of someone not liking me. Or we could say, this is rooted in the present moment. There's something about this person that's I can't quite put a finger on it, and I don't need to like be able to give a dissertation on
Yeah.
why, but
Yes.
this is feeling rooted in the present moment about
Yeah.
it's specifically about this person.
And that's also being your best friend too, being able to give yourself permission for that, and you don't have to explain. I'm curious about when you're describing someone identifying, so really knowing their anxiety, and if I butcher this, please, correct me. So they know their anxiety, and they can differentiate between what is historical, when what is right, but then also knowing what is like current. And do you do you think it's just learning about yourself more, or yeah, and
Yeah.
you, and it's the way that you're describing it, that you have people go inward and identify what those feelings are. You go all the way to say, oh, this reminds me of what's interesting, and this, you're going to know this happens to all of us. And like that clients always, if you can help them get there. So it's like, this reminds me of my dad, right? So let's say, some negative behavior. This reminds me of my dad, but but the behavior itself, like it's resonating with it, but the behavior itself is not actually a problem, but is it pointing to a problem? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Will it then turn into that, you know? And then like the layers of, any kind of old feeling. Do you think it's possible? See, I'm asking a double question. Do you think it's possible? I think anything's possible, but do you think I really do, but do you think it's possible to really cleanse out like the old wounding in such a way that it's just reframed? Like, I spend so much, I spend time reframing thoughts and feelings and experiences, just making a new story visually in my mind about different experiences. Do you feel like you can be free from that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, me too.
Especially when we invite our body into the process and we not only reframe the story,
Hmm.
but we reframe how we relate to that pain in our body to where that pain is no longer this thing that overtakes us or hijacks us,
Hmm.
but it's this pain that we've met with so much love and compassion that it just softens and
Mm-hmm.
we integrate it somatically. And now we're no longer living in the ghost of the past. We're like fully in the present, and that pain becomes integrated as wisdom.
Yeah.
I really fully believe that.
There's so much talk in our field about boundaries, and for some reason, the word boundaries bothers me, but we don't have to get into that. But I feel like if we're able to create an inner fortitude, like this strength, but you know, it's identified also as this compassion, this like, you got
Mm,
inside, right? That type of strength, if I trust me, then my outer self, my outer world can be soft because I know that no matter what situation I'm in, I'm going to make sure I take care of it, even if it ends up being a bad situation. I can trust me to leave it. I can trust me to whatever it is to keep me safe. I can do it.
yeah.
Right. And well, shouldn't we be raising our kids like that?
Woo. Yeah. Yeah. Because if you don't trust you, then you need everything in your external environment to be a certain way.
Exactly.
You need to trigger proof your life. You
Yes.
need to like make, you need to behave in this way and you need to do this and you need to do this because if these things are not in place, I will lose myself.
Yes.
But like you said, if I trust me and if I know in my bones, in my cells that I've got me, then like I love how you said that the life around me can be soft. I
Yeah.
can have more flexibility. I
Yeah.
can have more understanding. I can have more compassion. And in the moments where I need a GTFO, I know
Mhm.
I will GTFO.
Exactly. Exactly. I'm telling this story because I just want people to hear this. And during, I was in Walmart years ago. I think my daughter was 16. That was not that many years ago. I don't want to date myself, but anyhow, so it was like 40 years ago, but no. So we were in Walmart. It was late at night and we were in Florida. We live in New York.
Mm,
So it was just me and her. And we had to go because we moved this stuff into this other place. Why am I telling you the details? We needed pillows. We realized like at 10 or 11 at night, we needed pillows. I'm like, oh my God, we just got to go. So we went to Walmart. It was her and I. A man comes up to us that works there and says, hey, I just want to tell you that there's a man following you. Yeah. So I, 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 I really do believe I can protect myself and my daughter. It doesn't matter that it's late at night. It doesn't matter what anybody thinks. I know we're safe because we're going to be, right? She didn't know it. She's like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I said, Grace, don't. What? And I just basically looked for the man. I just was like, I put my shoulders back. I looked for the man. I was like, okay, I don't see him right here. But however, we are not leaving this store either without protection or the police or whatever it is. So we end up, right? So we go online to pay. And there is literally a man, and it's almost sounds exaggerated. He was probably the scariest man I ever saw in my life. And I can't even believe it. He like, and maybe this just, I don't even, he was so tall and his eyes were like piercing and he was staring at us. Like he literally like he wanted to kill us.
Nope.
And I'm like, and Grace is like, oh my God, that's a man. Look at the man. And she's like so scared. And I said, I just want to tell you something that you're going to learn how to trust yourself in a situation like this. And I want you to take this situation with you for the rest of your life. So I went up to a Walmart person. They're like, oh, no, they were not going to help us. I said, so I'd like you to call the police because someone is following us and we're not leaving the store until we're escorted. It
Yes.
has to be a person who's going to protect us. And so they're like, well, there's cameras out there. I said, the cameras will show after the fact. We're not
Yup.
leaving. So I said, and it has to happen or I'll call the police. So I was explaining to her that there's not any chance that we're not going to be safe. So I also looked up where is the location of a close police department because I'm
Yep.
thinking when we exit and even if we're escorted, which we were, taken to our car, that guy could still follow us.
Yep.
So I'm ready to drive to the police department. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, there is not any chance. So I was explaining to her, there's not any chance that someone's going to harm us because I trust me. I said, I want you to learn how to not move. Think about how you can do the thing that's going to ensure you, no matter what anybody thinks, screaming, yelling, whatever.
Yep.
So the only reason I say that to you is because I want people to hear it. Like if a teenager
Yeah.
hears it, like I feel like a lot of us aren't learning that we actually there's so many things we can do to ensure our
Mm-hmm.
safety, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
yes.
And this is what we call self-advocacy. Do
Hmm.
you trust yourself that if you do need external support, you will advocate for that
Exactly.
without being
Truth.
afraid of, oh, I don't want to make a scene. I don't want to, maybe it's going to be okay. I don't want to ask for too much. I don't want to bother anyone. I don't want to make, like we're so afraid of being seen advocating for our needs and for our
Yes.
safety. And I love that you modeled for your daughter. Like, this is what it looks like to advocate for yourself.
Yes. She didn't
Yeah.
want me to talk to them.
Right. No,
She
please
didn't want
don't,
me to
Mom.
talk
It's
to, she was
embarrassing.
like, I said, no, we're going to be safe. And
Yeah.
then when they weren't helping us, I insisted, I made them help us. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
no, there's not, you are helping us. I
Yep.
didn't care who heard it. I told people around, I said, somebody's following us. I was just loud. And the thing is, like, you know what? It's funny because this is not modeled.
No.
Oh, my weird old mom. But
Mm-hmm.
actually, she actually loves it now. Like she appreciates that. So I just want, that how many kids are in a situation where they're like, shh, be quiet. Don't
Yeah.
make a
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
right? So I dance in stores, by the way, pole
Mm.
dance stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Not like you though.
Yeah. Eh,
Yes. So back to everything that you're sharing. You you have let's say you have someone with you who has lost all hope
mhm.
and they're contemplating dying by suicide. They can't see the light.
Yeah.
And that happens. We are in the company of people who really, really, really want to die,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I'm just curious as to your approach or what you would say to someone, even anyone who's listening to this, because there are people who listen on here who
Yeah.
actually do want to die. So I'm just wondering what you would say to them.
Yeah. Ooh.
I know it's a hard one.
And at the same time, I think so many people there's so much stigma
Yes.
around suicidal ideation. And
Hmm.
either people are afraid to admit it or they're
Yes.
afraid of what people will say if they admit it.
Hmm.
So I first just want to completely say, like, you're not alone.
Yes.
Of course you want the pain to end. That's really what suicidal ideation is I'm in so much pain and I want it to end.
Hmm.
So I would really just validate their pain. I see you. I see
Hmm.
how much pain you're in. I see that like you don't want to be in pain. I see that your body is just wanting to be seen in that pain and heard and understood. The reason why a lot of people have suicidal ideation is because they don't feel that people really see them and understand and really hear them. and hear the pain that they're in. Either they have to put on a strong face or
Mhm.
that pain is minimized. So I would say, first of all, I see your pain. And that, of course, when we're in pain, we're looking for a way to escape it. And also that there are other ways to meet your pain, to surround yourself with people, find someone, a therapist, some sort of support, someone that you know will just hold space for your pain, where you can let yourself say, this sucks. This hurts. Because we often think that if I talk about the pain, if I let myself feel the pain, that it'll make the pain worse.
Mhm.
But when our pain is met with love, it begins to slowly, gently soften. There becomes this little glimmer of like, maybe, just maybe, I'll be okay. Because I can feel in this moment that someone sees me, that I matter, that m my existence matters because someone is seeing me and I'm starting to see myself through the eyes of someone else.
Yeah.
Because it's so easy to get completely clouded by that pain
Mhm.
that we don't, the clouds are so thick we don't even see the sky anymore. We're like, does the sky even still exist? Is the sky even still there? Will I ever see the sun again?
Mhm.
And it's when we allow ourselves to actually be witnessed in the pain, acknowledge the pain, and let ourselves be held in that, that we start to see some of that blue sky poking through the dark clouds.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you. One of the things that I hear a lot is that, you know, people will say that what does it matter because no one loves me anyhow,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And there's so many, and just to your point, I love what you're saying. And I would also connect it to the other things that you're saying about, and I understand that someone in that much pain may not believe that they can do this, but if they don't have a person that we were just describing, that the one person you have your whole life is you,
Hmm.
which is, like this odd thing because you're feeling like maybe even self-loathing. So it's harder
Hmm.
um, to connect with yourself. But, like I've seen that it's almost like a takeover of the mind, the suicide
Hmm.
mind. It's like an eclipse, the way you just described it, and believing that there's no hope, like this thing will never change. And I've actually had the feeling where it felt like almost like a sense of relief because there didn't seem like there was any answer
Yeah.
to the struggle. But what I have discovered in my long life is that there is always a solution. There's
Hmm.
always one, always.
Yeah.
You just haven't found it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like something I've been saying to myself a lot when things are really hard, it's like, be willing to be nosy enough to see what's on the other side of this fear, this pain. Can I be nosy enough to go like, I have to see what's on the other side?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
too nosy to not see what happens if I just hold on a little bit longer, because some of the greatest things in my life could be on the other side. But right now, I'm just in the unknown. I don't know if there's an answer. I don't know if I'll ever get out of this. This is what I've known. This has been familiar. And because it's been familiar and because it's been known, it's hard to imagine an unknown scenario in which things feel different.
Mm.
But one thing I know about life and what I've learned about life
Yeah.
is that the unknown contains everything you've ever wanted. But most people are not willing to make it to the other side of the unknown to get into the known. They stay in the known and
Yes.
they give up before they make it to the other side, where the unknown, the not yet, the almost, the still unfolding, where things actually shift. And the only thing constant in life is change. If you think you're stuck, you're just repeating the known. Life is about evolution. Life itself is about change. So if you can even just believe in that, that like the only constant in life is change. If I look at the trees, they're changing. If I like, things are changing. The old is dying away and the new is reborn. So if I can trust in just life itself and how life works, and if I'm part of life, if I'm part of this whole thing, this
Yeah.
big cosmic life thing, then maybe too, I will reflect nature and the old will die away and something new will be reborn in its place.
And isn't everything that we are, our cells, that we're not the same person as we were 7 years ago?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
we're the turnover, even our bones, like they
yeah,
break down and then they build up. It's just,
yeah,
that is what life is. I think so many young people, they haven't had the evidence yet
yeah, yeah.
that getting through the thing is like actually can happen. So I ask people just stick around, like what you're saying, but just a different language, like stick around to gain your evidence,
Mm,
that you can move, that this actually can work out. I do this little practice. It's 10 minutes a day. And it's any fear I have, because there's always like every day there's a fear or a concern. You know, I can't lie. I mean, that doesn't mean my whole day is a mess, but I mean, if I would challenge anyone to say, do you have anything that you just think won't work out or whatever it
mm,
is? So what I do is identify what it is, and any what if I have inside of my body. What if? So what if so and so turns out like this? Because then I'm identifying what I'm concerned about, Well, fear is future based, right? So now, then I ask myself the question, how can I ensure that this works out in the way, whatever the thing is, the
mm,
way that I need? And then I list what my first step will be.
mm.
That, maybe I'm going to identify the little action steps that I can do just today. And it's
Yeah.
incredible. I've been doing it every day for like 20 something days. I'm like, wow, so it's clearing it out like every day. I didn't think it would be this powerful, but it's amazing how many answers are inside of us when we ask, right?
Mm, mm. I
Okay.
love that. I love
Yes.
that. That we get to choose how we're going to co-create with life, how we're going to
Yes.
participate in life.
Yes. You want to, shall we like dive in? I know like one more thing, or do you have to
Sure.
leave?
No,
Okay.
I've got
Okay.
some time.
All right. So manifestation. Thoughts are things. We're co-creators. I mean, I'm certain of it. Like I just like anything that's bothering me just comes more. And anything, so I'm like consciously trying to always be in charge of my mind. But what I'm curious about for you, how do you do that with your body? Tell me,
Mm.
because let's say people want money. Isn't money freedom?
Mm-hmm.
So like creating freedom in your body, that's
Yeah.
right. So tell us
Yeah.
what you think about
Ooh.
all of this.
Ooh, girl. Yes.
Yes.
So I've over the last couple of years, I've been studying the work of Dr. Joe Dispenza, and he.
Yes.
Okay, okay, girl. Of course, of
I
course.
go to all of his advanced retreats.
Oh my God, we're twins.
Really? Okay.
We're gonna
We
hang
go to
out.
the next one. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So he says the thought is the signal that sends out to the universe what you want, and the emotion is what draws it to you. So emotion happens in the body, right? Thoughts happen in the mind. Our mind can create, our mind can imagine, but emotion is a body thing. Our brains literally don't feel. Like when they do brain surgery, they put you under because they're going to cut your scalp open and that's going to freaking hurt. But your brain doesn't feel. Your body is the seat of your emotions. So when we can cultivate the energy, cultivate the emotions inside of us that align with the freedom we want to feel, even before the money is there. Can I create the feeling inside of myself first and feel that, like, wow, I have the ability to create an experience inside of myself before the external thing is there. I'm not outsourcing and waiting. I'll be happy when the money's there. I'll be happy when I have the perfect partner. I'll feel this when. It's no, how can I partner with my body to create that inside of me now? It's the most, you become a wizard, Harry. Like,
Yes.
yes.
Yes. Do you know that I used to like conjure up, like visualize, and then actually be in the state where I could feel so loved that literally need nothing.
Yeah.
There's nothing on that this earth has for me that is, and it's just, like the feeling that the thing that you actually want, you already have now.
Mm.
right?
Because the reason we
Incredible.
want the thing is because of the feeling it'll bring us.
Yes. Yes. And we're so afraid not to have it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's creating from, Dr. Joe Dispenza says, create from wholeness, not from lack.
Yes.
So if I already know I have it inside of me and I can create that feeling inside of me, then I create from wholeness instead of I hope that this thing will give me the feeling I want.
Yeah. This other, I have a few little practices I do. So like when I leave my house, I stop at the door and I say, and I say it throughout the day, there is no, all that I need is within me now. There is no lack within me. And if I
Mm,
feel myself leaving, like, when you're rushing or whatever, I'll ask, what's missing?
mm,
Don't walk out this door in lack. Don't
wow.
leave. I'm not leaving in lack because what am I going to get? I'm not going to get anything. I'm
Mm,
not going to leave here to get. I'm going to leave here whole. And it's like a weird practice, but it makes you just self-reflect for a minute because we're
mm.
so much of the day is experiences of lack.
Yeah.
I think for me, anyhow. I mean,
Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
we're conditioned. That's how society's conditioned. I want
yeah.
something outside of me. I work hard to go get it and I feel whole. But then it's a never-ending chase.
No,
You want the
we
next thing and
don't
the
feel
next thing.
whole. Yes.
Yeah.
So could you tell me, like, what do you have currently have a business where you do this. So tell us about that. Tell us what
Oh.
you do.
Yeah, so we do several things. The biggest thing is we train therapists, mental health professionals, coaches in how to do creative somatic work,
Mhm.
how to help guide their clients into their bodies safely, effectively, ethically. It's a year-long certification program.
Oh,
It's
wow.
in freaking incredible. I'm obsessed. We also have two other programs. One is called the Embodied Leader Mastermind. And this is if you want to make an impact on the world, if you want to make a positive impact on the world, how can you become the embodiment of what you're here to lead? How can you allow yourself to feel safe to be more visible? How can you lead from authenticity? How can you create that wholeness inside of yourself and be the transformation that you want to guide other people through? So it's really about locking into your purpose, locking into your power. And then we have a program called Holy Human, WHOLLY, and it's everything we've been saying. How can I come back to the wholeness of my human experience instead of believing that certain parts of me are wrong and bad and I shouldn't have this and I shouldn't. How can I come home to the wholeness, the entirety of my human experience without shame, without judgment, and really reclaim myself?
That's beautiful. Do you do that virtually? Do you do it in house or how
Yeah,
does
our
yeah.
company is international. We do everything virtually. We do offer in-person retreats, especially with our certification program. There's a week-long training retreat that's part of it. And also, we're going to be doing a one-time week-long retreat at Omega Institute in New York called The Neurobiology of Healing
Okay, where let me get my
in
pen.
September.
Where
In
where
Sep-
where is that? How come I don't know about the Omega Institute?
It's about 2 hours from New York City. I'm
Oh, it's
blanking.
like upstate.
Rhinebeck?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So we are doing that this year, which we're so excited about. They reached out to us and hired us to lead this week-long retreat all about somatics and embodiment, and we're just so excited.
That is
Um,
so wonderful.
yeah, so we're looking to do more in-person opportunities as well, but all of our work is done virtually. We have clients in London, Spain, Australia, Mexico, Canada, you like we have people all around the world. It's very, very special.
You know what you're doing, right?
Hmm.
I mean, you're changing the world. You know that, right? I
Thank
mean,
you.
I mean, maybe you don't feel like you can say it, but I can say it. But you're changing the world because like every one person, I always tell all the therapists here, every one person you touch goes generation after generation. And you are changing the collective consciousness,
Thank you.
and I feel so blessed to speak to you and to have gotten to know you because it is not often, a lot, you know, when we meet people, and I'm going to have you even speak to this because I think this is really important because of relationships, just connections, human connections, that as someone is evolving and expanding, a lot of people are, taught that that's not what we do, like that it's just mediocrity. That's one of the things about my podcast is like, how do we crush mediocrity so people can have like the life that they really are meant to have? So you, this, to meet someone who, yes, understands like all of that about quantum physics and neuroscience and Dr. Joe, and then what would you say to, this is a good, this is, I'm like, this is a good question. What would you say to someone who, like, we're all taught about upgrading or auditing our relationships. They're the sum of the five people that you spend the most time with and all of that. And I believe that we do. We share brainwaves, we share energy. So in regard to that, someone who cares for people and takes, and helps people, how would you share with someone about how to begin to upgrade their social emotional relationships?
Ooh,
No
yeah.
pressure. That's like,
I mean, find spaces. If you look around your life and you're like, "Oh my gosh, wow." Like the people in my life, they're belittling, they're not uplifting me. I don't feel safe to be who I am. If that's where you're at, first of all, like you're not alone. You're not screwed. We have to let ourselves get uncomfortable, right? To go outside of our comfort zone. That could be like, okay, I'm gonna start going to yoga classes or a dance class. I'm gonna start intentionally putting myself in new places where I'm gonna meet new people who are maybe more in line with what I want to be and what I want to create. Even like these online communities, like the relationships that are formed in my group programs are insane. Like
yes.
the love that is felt
Hmm.
from strangers around the world. Like whether it's physical, putting yourself in new physical places, putting yourself in new virtual places, but getting over that hump of discomfort of putting yourself in new places, because that's the only way we build relationships is putting ourselves out there and intentionally looking for communities, activities, places, people where we're going to find people who are aligned with what we want to build in our life.
I love that. And you know what? I can just piggyback on that. I belong to a couple of like worldwide communities that, they're all over, but, like for entrepreneurs, but all personal development and really like-minded people. And I find that I have friends all over the world, really.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
it turns into that maybe in the local community, like even Jesus said, a prophet, is like in his hometown is like whatever. But it's like a lot of times they're all over the place. I mean,
Yeah.
that's mostly of my experience. Like I have
Yes.
friends all over Canada, it doesn't matter. And yeah, but that actually affirmed something in me because I wonder sometimes about having these like a community that's close to home as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that people need that, but maybe not because I get so much of my connection
Mm.
in that way.
Yeah.
So
Uh,
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, and that's what I love. That's the positive thing about the internet is like we
Yeah,
can literally find our community anywhere.
yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, the world has become smaller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's-
So tell us how we can serve you and
Mm.
how everyone can find you. And maybe I'll ask one more thing about your stuff. So if you when you have the week long is in September, correct? And where would they find that information?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you'll go to healingembodied.com forward
Okay.
slash retreat.
Okay, perfect.
Yep.
And then in regard to, let's say, like you were describing training practitioners, right?
Hmm.
So you do group and do you also do individual?
Yeah. So when we train practitioners, we train it in cohorts. So that is
Mm.
group. We keep it very small and intimate. But if you want to learn more about that, again, our website, healingembodied.com, you'll see the tab Get Certified. You'll also see everything else we offer. But if you just want to connect with me, we have an incredible free resource that has tons of little trainings, podcast episodes all about somatic work and somatic healing. So if you go to healingembodied.com/connect, you'll see where to opt in to get that free resource. It's like a library full of
Oh,
all
cool.
things somatics and embodiment. So if you're really interested in like learning more about this for yourself, or if you're a therapist and you want to learn more about it, that's a great resource to opt into. But you can find me on Instagram at healing.embodied. We also have a free Facebook community called the Embodied Leader Paradigm. Pretty much anywhere on the internet, we're there.
What is that called? Body leader paradigm?
The Embodied Leader
Oh,
Paradigm. It's a free
embodied.
Facebook group. Yeah.
Okay, lovely. So now, one more question. A therapist who goes through this year long training, that certification, what does that certify them for?
Yeah. So you get certified both through us at Healing Embodied. You become a certified Healing Embodied practitioner. And then you're also certified through the Complementary Therapist Accreditation Association. So this gives you international certification to practice as a somatic practitioner. So if you're wanting to expand, you can either integrate it into your existing practice as a clinical therapist, or if you're wanting to expand your services, if you're wanting to offer an online virtual, more of like a coaching style group, if you're wanting to offer separate services that are focused on somatics and somatic healing and growth and expansion, you can use this certification for anywhere in the world, which is really incredible.
That's awesome. Logger Counseling Services will be involved somehow. I gotta see.
Yeah.
Okay, I have so many questions, but
we'll keep talking. We'll keep talking.
I just adore you. I think, what do you wish I would have asked you that I didn't?
I think we covered it, girl.
Okay, so there's nothing missing.
I feel complete.
There's no lack within us.
I am whole.
I am whole.
Yeah.
Do you want to do one small practice that you could tell people, like for like a minute? Do you do anything like that?
Yeah.
Since
we're already here with our hands over our heart, you can put your hands over your chest. And we're just going to create space inside of our heart space. So we're going to take a breath in and literally feel your chest moving upward and feel the space being created inside of your body. And as you exhale, feel your body soften and yield down into the earth. And see how much space you can create in your chest, in your rib cage as you breathe in. Can I create space for any and all emotions? Can I create space inside of my body for discomfort, for fear, for sadness? And can I soften around it instead of contract or push it away? Can I make space? And can I soften? And you can use that whenever you need it.
Love it. I love you.
Girl, I'm gonna get your number. We're gonna be BFFs.
You're my best friend right here.
I love that.
You're like my new best friend.
Girl, hit me up.
Reach out to Chelsea. You will not regret it. And I can tell, I mean, I've been in this field forever, so I won't date myself, but this woman will change your life by the incredible golden nuggets that she has to share with you. And she's genuine and authentic and somebody that you definitely would want to expand with. And so just all in the show notes will be all of the information to reach her. And I know that you will do that. And now it's a wrap.